My name is Michael Mwaniki. A human resource practitioner. I work as a human resources business partner, particularly majoring in terms of checking retail and business. And I'm also an MC. In the MC world, I'm called MC Mike Chapel. So in most of the time during the weekends, you find myself doing events, could it be wedding, traditional events, corporate events. That is where I venture mostly, and that is what I do.
My name is Jenna, or basically Jane Kishuru Chege. I am a HR practitioner as well. I work as a HR manager in the energy sector.
Together we call ourselves the CJs, basically to mean Chapel and Jenna. We are the CJs. We met in campus, and I went in campus to take my degree, and then I was added another diploma over here. And I joined campus in 2013. When I joined campus, I was deeply into missions, prayer. I was a prayer coordinator, and each and every year I was there receiving all the first years that are joining the campus. Now on this particular time, in 2016, that is when she joined the campus. And I was, as usual, in my business of receiving all the people that have joined, helping them to understand Christian Union and settle prayers and all those things. I received her in the amidst other people, and we continued on together. We were just basically started as friends, nothing much. Basically, actually, we started as friends, invited her for fellowship, invited for her prayers. And of course, now that is where basically our journey started in campus. I don't know whether she recall any other memory that she's willing to share.
Actually, the first semester that I did join the university, he was the prayer coordinator then. So I joined a little bit late than the cohort that actually joined with us. So I did not get the details of the whole orientation on the Christian Union. So for like about a month, I would go home for fellowships during the weekend. But it became now a bit hectic and tiring. And so I decided to link up and know exactly how was the SU program in the school run. So I got to link up with him because he's the prayer coordinator, and now he got to take me through on the prayer meetings that usually happens in school. There was a place called Power Room. So he guided me through there, and I think a week after, I didn't know the meetings happens Monday to Friday. So when he just told me the prayer meetings happens in the morning and in the evening and over lunchtime. So for that week, I actually did. I religiously attended the meeting, the prayer sessions. But he missed out the detail of telling me they don't happen on Saturdays. So I found myself on a Saturday morning waking up very early at 6, and I went to the prayer room, and I'm like, why are people not here? So I prayed for about 30 minutes, but I felt then why are people not coming for the prayer session? Yeah. So on my way out now, I met him going for, I think he had a group discussion, and that's when he told me that prayer meetings were usually only on Monday to Friday.
Right. And I saw a committed sister who is even willing to pray even during the weekends. And that is where you start seeing a good person over there.
Yeah, so that basically was the highlight of our meetup, but we continue now to be friends throughout campus life.
How we managed to move from friendship to the next level of dating and asking her to be mine is a very interesting story, because I remember one day, basically we started by pushing it further into friendship, and then you can understand that we love each other. There is that longing for one another, and you see that campus vibes whereby you are in the carpet. Alikuwa ananipikia omelette, kitunguu na mayai. That is what was available in the house, and we just used to enjoy those moments in the carpet, on the carpet pale kwa hostel. And then I remember this particular time that now, before I made a move of proposal, she knew that I'm going to do exactly like that, and then she countered me. And that was in my fourth year. I was in my fourth year. I remember that conversation was happening in our school graduation square, and these are the words that she told me. You know what? I'm not intending to get into dating while still in campus. You see now, she countered me before I had made my, you see as a man, you have to make sure that you are very sure that the moment you ask, you have sealed the deal, and she's not going to say no. But now she countered me, and now it became a little bit complicated. But I said, fine. If at all she says that, and that is what is in her heart, let me respect and wait. Then I told her, I have no hurry, then I'll definitely wait for you. Now that is whether the other part began. No sooner had I not sealed my deal than another good friend popped up. I don't know where that man came from and met my girl. Now I don't know who this man was and what happened.
That's quite an interesting story. And like I said, I was purposely, and I knew from the word go, when I get into campus, I'll not involve myself in dating. And apparently I had a very different perspective of campus life when I was still in high school. I think also because of the people I interacted with. But I also feel it's information that is not out here for most people. We have the mentality of actually that universities is the root cause of all evil for the young people. But when I got into Muranga University, I got a very different perspective. So like I said, I didn't, when I was going in there, and even when we were having the conversation with my dad, I knew it's very clear for me. I'm here to study, I'm here to get my degree, and so I am not ready to involve myself in any kind of a relationship. So, but in the process now, of course, I got to interact with friends. I got to see people who are deeply rooted in the Christian faith. People who are really passionate about knowing God. And so I think that for me gave it a stronger bond. So I got to make a lot of friends, him being one of them. And so the fact, I think the special moment, the fact that he's the one who actually introduced me to the Christian Union, and maybe now to mention now, after he did that, is also somebody we call Pastor Boniface. He also played a very key role in helping me actually transit in the Christian Union. So I knew I am not ready to date. But now in the course of life, 2016, 2017, when you're knowing, hey, these people, I think they're very kind people in here, I wouldn't mind. And so my decision slowly started, I started being soft on it. and started welcoming friendship, because I'd really put a block, and I knew you cannot cross my boundaries. So we were friends with Mike for a very long time, for the period that we were in school. So we started becoming close. Also now the fact that he did HR. And I remember one time their notes I didn't have, because I had missed some classes. So I knew this guy is ahead of me. So basically, hakuna venye anaweza kosa notes za I think foundations in HR. So I went and borrowed his book, and I think that also contributed to us being closer. And one of these days, so I decided after the prayer session in the morning, I will pass by his house where they used to live with a colleague, with a friend, and I collect the book. So I think that's how now we ended up becoming friends. So by the time progresses, this is 2017 now, and I'm in second year, and we had started, now this closeness had started being observed by some of our friends. Now it became the point that I decided now we need to have a conversation. Most of our friends will be like, you cannot tell us you and Mike are not dating.
You look good together.
Like, you guys look good together. You guys are just playing us a show, but ideally on the ground what you're doing is a date.
Yeah.
But I would really be offended on that, because I know basically we are not dating, and that is the truth of the matter. But I started asking myself, what could this thing be that is making people say that we are dating and actually we aren't? So it will really make me uncomfortable. And like he mentioned, he used to visit me in my room. I used to live outside the school. So he'll frequently visit, and we have just those natural moments, nothing intimate, nothing close or nothing. But the more you spend time with a person, the more you start developing those feelings. So I felt as much as we are not dating, I think we also have something we are contributing to make people think we are actually dating. And so that is when I came to the point of now calling him for that meeting, he says, in the graduation square.
I was summoned at the graduation square.
I actually summoned him, and I told him, please, today after Bible study, I want to see you briefly in the graduation square. And I was so specific, don't come to my house, let's meet in the graduation square.
It
And
was
it
not
was a
brief.
very, no, it was meant to be brief. It was meant to be brief. But so I told him, let's meet in the graduation square. And so that is why when I started the conversation with, I am not comfortable with the talk that is going around the school, especially in the CU, that we are dating, and we know that we are not an item, and that we can confidently, between us, tell that we are not an item. So that's why I told him, please, you need to keep a distance from me. Let's not take this. If it means for us not meeting quite often, if it means for us not talking quite often, I am comfortable with that, so that at least we don't now create a notion that is not there. And that is how now I told him. I didn't know he had the intention of actually asking me for
I was
to be his
almost
date.
there.
That one I honestly didn't know. So for me, I knew my point is home, and now we are good. So after that, it now became a moment of distance. I would literally avoid him. I knew he will pass through a certain route going to the small gate, and for me now, I'll intentionally know I'll use a different route when coming to and from the prayer sessions.
After now that break that was given there at the graduation square, I decided to also make sure that it's a break that I can make it a short term. Like, let me tell her, I have no problem with that. I can comfortably wait for you to finish the campus, and then we pick up this matter again. I don't have a rush. I can wait for you. But that was not my agenda. My agenda was to close the matter. Remember, I was on fourth year, and I knew that now I'm leaving campus. I wanted to make sure by the time I'm leaving, I have secured my girl, so that
project.
I have secured my project, and then I'm safe. But unfortunately, I was not able to do so. So what happened when I stepped out of the in the marketplace, I said, whatever happens, I'll definitely try my level best and also help her secure maybe a job and connections and all that. I remember this very moment when now there was a heartbreaking moment before getting to us reuniting again. On that particular day, what happened? There was this particular fellowship at in Kasarani. She was the head of the VUCA Fit, the finalist in her year. I was also the chair of the finalist in my year. So most of the time we were sharing notes. So during her year, when she was preparing for all those meetings, those finalist preparations, she was most of the time consulting with me. And they usually come at the Focus Center, that is a fellowship of Christian unions, most of the time to finalize everything. I remember that time I was in Juja. I had a service in Juja on that particular Sunday, and I wanted to rush to Kasarani and see her, because now again it has been for quite a time that I have not seen her. And on that particular day, I remember there was this girl in church who was getting closer and closer. You know, you feel like this person is getting closer, and also there is a bond. So that particular Sunday, I'm like, no, me, I have someone I have preserved. I know I'm going to get someone. So I told her on that particular Sunday, wait, my sister, we can't go past this one. We can only just be friends because I know I have someone somewhere. Then on that Sunday, I went to that particular place. A good friend of ours told me, did your girlfriend tell you that she's dating? I'm like, Tim, what happened? Now again, there is an introduction of another person, and she had not told me. So I said, she has not told me through her own words. I'm just going to pick it, but I felt very down. I actually didn't stay in that particular meeting. I went back home. I left Kasarani. I was staying in Kenyatta Road. I went to Kenyatta Road. I tried calling her friend. Her friend told me she's not even aware. She's surprised. There were some stories in between there that were not adding up. I feel mad at her. I can't call her. I can't ask her. But I feel betrayed because I thought I was waiting for you. But I think someone along the way came, and I don't know who this person is. Probably she might tell us who this particular person is and why maybe the person took the deal. So what happened now, amidst all those situations, I knew that if that is what you have decided, I battled in between that period of time, feeling very down, feeling that this is a lady that I would have wanted. Remember, we had developed a very strong bond, and I loved so many things about her. Her hospitality, her maturity, so many things I could see a wife in her, and I knew that this is a correct person to have, even based on the destiny that I wanted to pursue. Now, after now realizing that she got someone, I had to try my level best, but it didn't work. So I now decided also to try another tactic. Let me be silent on her. And now she did a mistake and told me, your silence is disturbing me. And then I'm like, oh, thank you, my sister. Why is it disturbing you? And I thought you have already made a decision. Now I knew that is a very good moment to to hit it back. So we had a conversation because I believe she was doing her exams. I told her it is fine if that is what you have done, because I remember she told me, I feel it's in order I let you know that this is the situation. I think someone came and I'm okay, but I didn't judge her because probably she didn't believe that maybe I have waited for her. You know, so I was this kind of a guy, probably you can't fully give your 100% in. There are other ladies that are around you. So as a lady, maybe she didn't know that purely I'm going to keep my word and wait for her. So probably someone came and she decided to accept. So now I decided to close it. Let me move on. Let me soldier on and try and purpose to look for someone else. There was this friend of mine that we had interacted with, and in the course of my career, and I had told her, if you have opportunities, you can always link me up, because I have someone that I would want to help. But now that was the time we were together by that time. So I was trying to secure something for her before she leaves, after she leaves campus. But remember, now we are not talking. Then this man calls me at around 11 at night, I think either 10:30 or 11 at night, and tells me, you had told me by the way you have someone who has done HR. Who is this particular person? And I said, yes, I still have this particular person. And we have not been talking with this particular lady, but I had said in my heart I'm going to help her. So as much as I have decided to shift lanes and move on, let me just connect them, let her settle in her career, and then I continuously move on. But I think that was another touching moment. She was home, no money, no nothing. And then she's like, I can't make it tomorrow. And then I knew probably it's a challenge of money, because I definitely know. So I decided to send her some fare and told her, once you get there, call this particular number. You get started, I'm sure you'll sort out yourself from there. And me, I was doing it saying that now I have done my part, and my heart was happy that even if I'm not going to get you, I've done what I would have wanted to do for you. But now that was like a turning point, that my girl was like, this man is still doing me good, so she still loves me at the heart. I don't know what was the feeling then, because that is now the turning point of how now things started working. We started meeting. We started taking some samosas in a particular restaurant in town, slowly, and the bond grew, and that is how we ended up being together. I don't know, probably sijui aliguzwa wapi.
So now remember, I told I'm not ready to date. I'm pushing through campus, but for me that was a statement just to push him away, because he was not vocalizing. He had not vocalized that actually he has interest in me, and for me, I didn't want to have the risk of just reading the telltale signs. For me, I believe in the confidence that a man comes and tells you, look, this is what I want, this is who I am, and this is what I will try. I have an interest in you, let's go this direction. So with the absence of that, for me, I felt I have no basis actually to even wait or commit to him. So like he mentioned, of course, still in the course of campus, actually in my last year, I got into another relationship. But we were still now in communication. As much as I decided that I will not get in touch, the role that I held in the CU as the finalist chair made me now to actually communicate with him so often, because he had held the position prior, and so he had quite experience in organizing some of the forums that I was actually intended to organize for my team. So that's how now the communication bit came back. So we progressed and kept communicating even outside after school. And so the moment he has just shared about him connecting me to my first job has really actually struck my mind at this time, because for me it showed a very caring aspect of him, that as much as I felt a bit, I have not actually had broken you, because ideally you had not asked me to be your girl, so I didn't understand why he was bitter with me, the fact that I've actually moved on. I actually told him it's my life, I have the right to love whoever I want, and so I didn't understand that bit for him. So when he connected me to that job, I felt this guy is really a caring person naturally. And so we continued to have the coffee dates in town because I was working in Muthaiga and was commuting from Ngong. So quite often we'd meet in town in the evening, have coffee, he would walk me to the bus station and I walk home. So that's how our connection came back. And we now proceeded to dating. I think in that previous relationship, I stayed here for 6 months. And now I started seeing some red flags. And now you see, we are already now in touch with the person who I had a crush on. And so this connection had slowly started coming back. So when I saw these red flags, they were quite clear for me. Because for me, while dating, I knew my deal breakers. I knew these are my yes and these are my no's. So I started seeing some red flags and I knew, my friend, if you stay here, you're going to really burn yourself. And so I decided to peacefully call off the relationship. We had a meeting with a guy. I just told him, we are not agreeing on this and this. And so I just told him it will be best for us if we can be able to just part ways. It was not an easy conversation, but we ended up agreeing that this is the direction that we are going to take. So after breaking up, I think by that time I had been posted to work in Nanyuki. So after I did that breakup, I had quite a lonely moment in Nanyuki. I was staying in a hotel. So I didn't have any friends. I was just going to the office and coming back in the evening. So I honestly did not have anybody I was communicating with apart from my girlfriend called Martha. That's the only person we were talking to. So I could tell her how I'm feeling. I don't know why I'm still feeling the guilt, but when I know that I've actually decided to let go of this because of valid reasons. So she helped me walk through that stage and through that time, because it's honestly not an easy decision. So I'm like, I thought I'm in this for real. And I knew also one thing, that I wanted to date and marry my first boyfriend. That was also very particular for me. So when I felt this has not worked out, I felt really heartbroken. And so I had quite a very difficult moment working in Nanyuki. And Nanyuki was a very cold place. My family is away, my friends are away. It's a completely new environment. So we started now the conversations with Mike. He will call me to know how is my new environment, how is work, and purely talking about HR stuff. At that point, I didn't think we didn't have any personal conversation. So the clique that came, there's one weekend I'd been invited to minister in my church in Ngong. And that particular day now, I updated him. Remember, I was not talking with anybody else apart from my family and my friend. So I just told him, actually, this weekend, I'm in Nairobi. So we can meet up, probably after I do the administration, we can meet up and have coffee. And that particular meeting changed our whole story and narrative, and our friendship came back.
About the proposal, I really needed to figure out a creative way of how to come up with this proposal. Remember I told you I'm in event, so I ran a company, and my company was 1 year old. So what I decided to do, I decided to talk to some of my friends, tell my friends to tell Jenna that my company is doing well, I've been getting these gigs for some time, and now we can have an anniversary celebrating my company, the milestone that we have. But all this process was just to look for a way to have the proposal done in the most creative way that she's not going to be able to know. The surprising part of it is that now I made her to organize much of the part of the proposal. So probably she can take us through and tell us how the proposal was.
So 13th December remains to be a memorable day for me, because that's the day that I said yes to the most handsome man that I know, or the biggest decision in my life. So like he mentioned, CPW is the company, is the name of the company that we run. So it was running for 1 year. We are celebrating the first anniversary. So he tricked me through a friend of ours that we hold so dearly, Pastor Ruth and Pastor James. So they tricked me on how exactly we are going to surprise Mike with our first anniversary celebration. This couple held a very a very special place in our family. So I knew like they are really kind-hearted. So when they said this particular time we need to surprise Mike, he has been doing so well in events, so we need to organize something for him and buy some of the equipment that can be able to be used to help him propel the event company. And of course I knew this is the thing I would want for him. Who would want the best for their friend or fiancé, so to say. So we get on planning the days, we get to see which day works best. Ruth tricks me to get the dates, so the names of the people who I think are close to Mike. Actually, she was very categorical. We need people, just a small group of people who are close to Mike. Then now as we progressed, so that's when she told me, you can also add some close friends that you wouldn't want to miss, that you will want them to be in your special day. So we plan, we look for the venue, we do a lot of budgeting. Remember that time I had taken a break from work. So the position I was also straining financially. So as much as I wanted to do really best for him, but I'm like, now, this guy, if he was doing it, he has the money. But I cannot plan a surprise, then go and ask him for the finances to actually do that. He will start questioning, why am I doing this? So for me, I am working it as a surprise for him. So I leave most of the details to him, and we talk from him, and we talk majorly with Ruth and Pastor James. So we end up planning, we secure a venue at Rainbow Resort, Rainbow Resort. So we book a date, we plan most of the things, we get the cake, we get the decor in place. Yeah, and now we said, we start, sorry, I don't know how to put it, but most of the things are in place, and we just wait for the day to come. But the biggest challenge now was on getting my outfit for that day. I knew I needed to look good, but I didn't have the money. I was literally in such a strenuous position by that time. So I'm like, what do I work with? Do we work with matching outfits, myself and him? But I'm like, it's not important. We are not yet a couple, so it's not important. But I'm like, because we've done the decor part, so let me also do something extra. And so we strain. So I'm talking to Ruth on that, so she decides to help me get some of these things in place. So we get to the day, we surprise him how he's going to get to the venue. So I didn't know all this time I'm the one who is being played. For me, I'm thinking we are playing Mike, so we're on the same place. So we'll get to the venue, we set up and ensure everything is okay. I come, I look at the decor, the food was well prepared. So we were just waiting for Mike and some of his friends to just come. So they come and we surprise him. He wore blah blah blah. No, I think there's something I've missed. There's a bit we told you to prepare for actually that event.
Maybe yes, exactly, for the conversation. Mm-hmm. Along the way, I was purely working with this lady called Ruth to make sure that everything is done. Actually, I was the one who looked for the venue, talked to the venue owner, sealed the deal about the conference room that we're going to use, about the meal, paid the packages, because again now I wanted her to feel comfort from the fact that she's not working, but she wants something good out of the event. So I was working with Pastor Ruth to just show her that no worries, we're going to find a way of getting this money. Introduce the theme, Kara, we can try and come up with this one, and then Ruth will come and tell me that your girl doesn't have this one, I tell her it's going to be sorted. I send her money, and then she makes sure that it is done. So what happened on that particular day, they told me that now I have a particular place whereby I'm meant to present and say the journey that we have come in this particular event, what we have been able to do, and what we have been what we have achieved to that particular moment. And then that was the moment that we were meant to bring about now the proposal part of it. And we had worked it in a way that she was meant to leave the room, and then we make it a proposal room again. And the way she was to leave that particular room was very simple. Ruth is meant to just call her. Remember, she feels that she's coordinating. She's just meant to be called. The cake guys has arrived. You can just come, and then we pick, and then you come back. By the time she's coming back, thinking that she's coming back with a cake, we had some petals over there, a cool music. I was on my knee, and an innocent lady walks in only to get that it is her her proposal. And I think to me, the very thing that I loved it is the fact that she didn't really know much about it, because that is what I just wanted to try and come up. I'm able to come up with a creative way that she might not really tell. So that is how we were able to do our proposal. And I could see her, the way she walked, followed all the two petals in a surprise, crying over there. And then in my heart, I'm like, this is a moment I wish she says yes. I'm hoping that nothing else is going to come out of it. And luckily, she said yes. And we popped up to a celebration, kata cake, pray together, thank God. Sherehe ikafika, tukakula mbuzi, we had a lot of mbuzi there, we had a lot of music with our friends, na tukajibamba. That is how our journey of marriage began, because now we are officially dating. We have agreed that she has said yes, she's gonna become my future wife. So we started our journey of marriage, of planning for our wedding.
Okay.
Our wedding was on 9th of July in the year 2022. We did our wedding in Life Church Rimuru. It was officiated by our pastor, Pastor Tim Wangi. And during the planning of the entire event, we were working towards the same together of us. So we had our very initial meeting that we had to first agree and say that now the proposal was in December. The same December, I took her home for parental introduction. It had its own beauty. Of course, my mom was very happy about it. My dad is this other funny guy who is like, who usually take two for the road. And on that particular day, he talked much. He talked a lot. And then my girl is like, this is my father-in-law to be. And then she kind of felt, well, I'm not sure. So kind of she felt a different environment, but my dad remains to be an amazing friend of ours. So he supported us in our plans later. Thank God, by that particular moment, immediately after the dowry presentation, she was able now to get back to job, and she was able now to secure some coins. So we were able to plan our few things using whatever I have and whatever she has for our personal errands during the wedding, and we were able to meet our budget. And I think the entire wedding planning process was very good. The AG, it didn't take time. We did our homework very well. We were able to get that guidance. Our designers didn't take a lot of time on also the same. We did our homework and we were guided to the best people. They did an amazing work. The bridal team, especially for my side on the gents, all the outfits were ready 2 weeks prior to the wedding. Everything was in place. So they cooperated very well. They didn't disturb us. They didn't give us hard time. And I think that gave us a moment to relax. That gave us a good opportunity to relax.
I wasn't so hands-on in most of the things. Like he mentioned, the fact that he's in service industry, he had connections and knew most of the service providers. So one thing I'm so sure of, I trust his leadership skills. He's so good at it, and so I was really comfortable with that, and I knew whichever direction we take, it will be the best for the both of us. So I didn't quite interfere in most of them. It was just basically updates, and also in the committee we get to know we are working with these service providers. So ours is to source for the funds and know how we are going to facilitate the same. So he did most of the work, apart from now the videography, where I'm more inclined to. So that's where I came in handy. But for the rest of the processes, I think he took the bigger part of it. But we were working together, so we didn't have a major conflict on I want this. I think we had two disagreements on cake service provider, because I had my service provider. I knew, like, as a lady, either food or cake, at least give me the satisfaction of working with the person I've always longed for, because you know, there's that longing from a lady that, you know, on one day I will have my wedding, and this is how I want it to be. So you had all that and vision in mind. So for me, I knew I have a particular cousin of mine, and she does very good baking, and so I knew that without a doubt she's the one who's making my wedding cake. And I had already even discussed the details with her. This is what I would want it to be. Then now in this process, then Mike has a friend who offers to do that. She also does a very good job. So most of this, actually the cake, the surprises he had done for me prior, most of the events, my birthday, the proposal, she had done those cakes. And so I knew the kind of work she does. Now the conflict comes. I want to work with really Sarah Pace, because I've really promised her this, to build the loyalty kind of thing. But there's this person now who is offering to give us the same package,
at a cheaper price,
but just charging us the ingredients. We just need to purchase the cost, the ingredients, no labor and everything.
And actually this person had also given us a cake during our dowry session.
Oh yeah,
for free of charge. She just came up with a cake. She gave us a good cake. It was such amazing. And then we at that point were like, I understand her as a lady. But again, now we get to a point where by now we have to come in this and agree. Now the determining factor is going to be the cost. I have no issue. You are saying that this is a person that you would have wanted. But money is also a factor as you plan in this particular wedding. And then she turns out to give us the best offer, and we had to talk to the other person and tell her we love your work, we would have wanted to do this one and this one, and we had to convince her. And luckily she agreed. She didn't take it with lots of bitterness or anything, and we were able to work with this other service provider, and she gave us a good cake and good services. We appreciated that particular session. That was actually our only thing that we were trying to disagree and agree during the process.
I had 3 actually highlights for my wedding day. One being, of course, it's a negative part. It was very chilly. It was very cold in Limuru. So we had a sunny Friday and a sunny Sunday. But on this particular Saturday, he decided it's going to break loose. It was drizzling. It was very chilly, by the way. And so I was feeling for my mates. For me, my gown, I had factored in that because I knew Limuru is already a cold place. So when sourcing for my gown, I had that factor in mind. So the second highlight was on the procession. Normally is the groom goes in first, and then you wait for your bride at the altar. So this particular morning, of course, the biblical setup is for we as the church, we are the bride of Christ, and so we are the ones waiting for Christ to come collect us as his bride. And so the fact that we actually had to practice that in our wedding, for me, was a really key highlight. But I didn't know, it's not something that we had planned. It came up that particular morning. And now I was told we have arrived in church, and I'm told, you're actually going to go in before Mike. I'm like, what do you mean? You are going to go in before Mike.
Actually, did they tell you if you entered and then you didn't get me?
No, I was told, just outside, just at the gate.
Okay.
And I'm told Mike is going to come after you. So we didn't even have time because the song has already started playing. I have no time to question why. I was just told this is what you're going to do. So the only thing now I could not manage to do is actually change my song, because the song that I walked down the aisle with, it was a dedication to him. Now I'm dedicating a song to somebody who is not in church already. He's outside. He's supposed to come and meet me. But that whole thing, now coming to think of it, it really was memorable for me. The fact that now I got to actually practice the Bible in real sense in my wedding. The other that highlight was the heaviness of the presence of God. That was the most important thing for me, and we had really prayed for it during our processes and the plans. And we knew we wanted God to be a witness in our wedding. And that particular morning, even from watching the video, the person who was leading intercessory and the worship sessions before we came in church, there was an evidence of a very heavy presence of God and an overwhelming joy. We really had fun in our wedding. We really enjoyed. I'm introverted personally, but my husband really is the extrovert. He has a lot of energy.
But she
So
dances.
he managed to pull that to me, and we really ensured we had fun. We danced, and yeah, we enjoyed the day in a nutshell.
Most people get into marriage with lots of expectations, and I believe that is like a custom or a norm to most of us. When I was getting into marriage, I purely wanted to build a marriage on my own, like build my own marriage. We get to understand each other. I was having this in my mind. I've not been married before. My wife have not been married before, so we are all starting this thing together. I think I focused my mind into having our first year's moment of learning together. What is this thing that need to be done? But I think my most expectation that I had, that I feel that that is what the only thing that I went into marriage with. I love being dressed. Like you see the way someone will be like anakutolea nguo, anakupasia, anakuvisha. I love it. When I'm out there and then you tell me that you look nice, I know this is my wife. Now only to get into marriage, my wife doesn't love ironing. Oh my God, she doesn't love ironing at all, and it is not her thing. And it's not that she wouldn't want to do it, but she has not grown up doing it. She doesn't love it. It's not in her heart. She can do the washing, the laundry, any other thing, but when it comes to ironing, it's not something that she loves. And me, I was the kind of a person that I would want it done for me. I feel like I've been dressed and I've been taken care of in all that manner. So I think I had to come to a point of now agreeing that we are all learning, and get to a point of saying that doesn't make anything, doesn't make harm of me now ironing and helping her in doing it, because again, I had no issue also with ironing. I've been trained by my dad to do ironing as during my days in campus. So me, I love ironing, and it turned out to be an amazing thing. So even most of the time when she got clothes that need to be ironed, I'll comfortably do it. I think that was my only key expectation that I had that was not fully met, but I was able to readjust and adjust and become adapt to it. And so far we are well. We can't have fight about it. I'll comfortably do my clothes iron, do her clothes comfortably without issues.
So that bit, honestly, me, I do ironing is just not my thing. So, but I also knew that he's somebody who actually loves doing it. So when we got into marriage, you know, it's nothing. You don't have to force this thing. Please do. I'm not into it. So he irons our clothes, both mine and his, and we are both comfortable with that. For me, the expectation, I think our best couple helped us in the walk, to help me especially. Yeah. My mom, Harriet, she helped me eliminate most of the expectations I had, because we'll have very often talks with her, and I'll pour out I tell her, me, this is what I think, this is what I think. And now during that process, she helped me eliminate most of them. The only thing that it did not go away was the fear. I really had a major fear of, what if I get into this marriage and this guy changes? I know him, yes, and you always hear that people get into marriage and they change.
Yeah.
As you cannot know somebody fully. So for me, I knew, yes, he will change, but the fear was, to what extent will he? What will he change to start doing and he's not doing? Or what is he doing at the moment that he'll actually not? So that level of change is what was actually giving me the fear. And I know it's a fear that is in most ladies when you're anticipating or planning to get married. So on how we managed to do it is knowing that you're walking in this thing in faith. Like, you basically the much you can do is to involve God in it. Because when you start right, then you know God, whatever comes in the course of the marriage, he's going to help us maneuver or sail through it. So I got to to gain confidence in God, and I just told him, Lord, I know I'm walking in this thing in faith. I'm making the most important decision in my life. So whatever changes comes with it, help me adapt to it. And true to it, 1 year and now 5 months down the line, he has really helped us transition through that. So most of the things, actually, now that Mom Harriet helped me eliminate most of these expectations, now they come to be as an added advantage. When I see him do so many things to support me, He supports me in most of the chores in the house. He's very hands-on. So for me, those comes, I see them as an added blessing to me because I know they are not common things. It's not once my husband will help me just do chores in the house if we are not working. It's not once he'll help me cook in the kitchen. We actually do that for fun together.
Not always, but as a bonding part of it also.
Yes, so that to me, they come as an added advantage in my marriage. So I will tell people, do not fear to get into marriage, provided you make the decision right, involve God from the word go. That is the most important thing. There are so many transitions that comes with marriage. So, but if you know you have begun right, things don't go wrong. They begin wrong. So if you begin it well from the word go, involve God in every step of the way, He's going to help you also in the process.
You have been hanging out with the CJs, and this is our love story.